How is everything?
It's good. Good, yeah.
Yeah, nice also talking to you. Finally, we've been talking by email quite a lot.
Yeah, but never in person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was very excited when you wrote me the email if I want to join the podcast. I was like, yeah, that's cool. Let's do it.
Yeah, yeah. Glad to hear. I think it's nice. I think so. One of the things that I'm trying to do is to bring some of the athletes, some of the relevant people within CrossFit to everybody, so everybody knows a little bit more, other than the guy that trains at their box and is the strongest one.
Yeah.
And maybe obviously knowing about Matt Fraser, Pat Beller, or whoever it is. So I think it's cool to have, to know more about what you guys are doing and how is your life as athletes, or if you work, study, and also combine that with being an athlete.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you wanna introduce you, or whatever you want to say, and then I'm going to ask you a few things about you, but I think this is going to be like a pretty open conversation.
Okay.
To get to know a little bit more about you.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Cool.
So, should I just introduce myself?
Yeah, go ahead. Sure.
Okay, my name is Maja Lalos. I'm 18 years old and I'm from Germany. I'm an athlete of CrossFit Tübingen. That's the gym where I train at. And I've been doing CrossFit since I'm 10 years old. So,
10 years.
yeah, quite a long.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm doing CrossFit 8 years now. So I started when I was 10.
Why did you start it so early? Was your parents?
Yeah, with my parents. My dad does CrossFit too. So I just joined him in one session and I was obsessed with CrossFit because I used to dance ballet and it was like too like boring. And then I saw CrossFit and I was like, okay, this is what I want to do now because it's like so many things. And I just thought it's so cool. And then I
think it's great for kids because there are so many different movements to learn.
Yeah.
So then you guys get super excited about doing double unders, how to do pistols or muscle ups. So it's always like a new thing, and it never really finishes because there is always a better way to do any movement.
Yeah, exactly.
So you constantly want to train and to learn. That's great.
Yeah. Cool. I like that I could start it that early. Like, I've been doing it very long and it's just so nice when you start like at a young age already. Like, as you said, you get like, you learn all those movements. You can like constantly improve yourself. It's just, that's what I love the most about CrossFit. So it's.
Yeah. I don't think I know many people in Europe who wanted their kids to start CrossFit at such an early age, which is a shame because I think it's a great sport.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people still have that, mentality of strength is not good for young people, for young kids, and I think it's changing. But Europe is always a little bit slower on this. So yeah, that's great. So you started at 10 in Germany.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but you are not German, right? Like your last names is not.
Yeah,
not German.
I have Serbian roots. Oh, okay. I'm not completely German, but I'm living in Germany, so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So Serbian, the Luka Jukic, right?
Yeah.
They are from Serbia. Do you know them?
Like I know him from competitions, but like I've never been training with him or anything. But
okay, you don't go to Serbia anymore.
Just in summer sometimes.
Yeah, it's a nice place, warmer than
warmer than here. Right? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's cool. So, what are your plans now? Or maybe like I think was last year or 2 years ago. So this year you actually stopped, or you didn't do the open, right? Because you were injured.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think it's a common transition from teenagers that did really good, either going to the games or not, but did really good on the teenager phase, to have like a couple of years of like building up strength mainly.
Yeah.
And then you guys stop a little bit and then you pick up when you are 20 or something like that. That at least is what I know from a few other teenagers.
Yeah, that's exactly like what I'm currently trying to do. So like also I graduated last year, so it was a bit tougher to like combine school and training. But now after school, I just said like now I'm gonna focus completely on training to like get that transition from being a teenager to now competing, hopefully competing in the elite division one day. And now I'm just using this time to like focus on my strength and like to just get better so I can pick up one day.
Sure, but you graduated from high school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. If I think what I was doing, in high school, it's nothing similar to, lifting heavy weights. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So now you're just focusing on training.
Exactly. So currently I'm just living the life of an athlete, mainly focusing
Yeah,
on training, doing a bit of coaching in our gym, but like
yeah,
mainly focusing on training. Yeah.
yeah. And you follow the training program.
No, so my coach is the box owner at the gym where I train.
Okay.
So I'm not like
Okay.
I'm not doing a famous
Program.
known
Yeah,
program. I'm just following like
yeah,
an individual programming.
yeah. I think it's way better, to be honest. Like, I mean, if depending what it is, if you don't have the option, you need to follow an online program. But if you can have somebody with you every
Yeah.
day, I think as long as that person is, knowledgeable and is not somebody that
Yeah.
doesn't know, but probably is good enough that somebody is correcting you and like guiding you and knowing a little bit more.
Yeah, I also
Yeah.
think that's very important to just have someone by your side to like always
Mm,
look after you and like, okay, you can get better here or change this. It's just so important, I think, if you want to reach that certain level.
definitely.
So,
Yeah. You train by yourself or you have training buddies?
so I have one training buddy, but he does not have the same goal as I have. He's just
Yeah.
there like doing his programming and we're just training together. But like most of the time I do train alone.
Okay. How is that?
I like it. I've always been
Yeah.
one who can push. Like I can push myself quite well alone. So and it's just easier for me to like focus on my training then. Like I know, okay, I'm just all by myself. You got to do what you got to do, and that's it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. I find it pretty amazing that some athletes like you are able to train by themselves always and push to the limit in every training. Not in every training, but push
yeah,
as much as you could every time. And even if it's thrusters and assault bike,
yeah,
which is always disgusting, and you need somebody to push you a little bit. And but yeah, I think that's the athlete mentality. If you don't have that mentality, it's really difficult that you will be that athlete that you want to be.
like the thing is, obviously it's easier if you have someone next to you who can push you, but you also have to be able to do it all by yourself. Like
Yeah,
it's not always that someone's going to be there. Like you have to be
yeah,
able to push yourself to your limits all by yourself. So
yeah.
that's why yeah, I think that's simply important to like be able to do it on yourself.
Yeah, I think you have to be like it's nice to have somebody, but it's like a nice thing to have.
Yeah.
But you should be able to do everything by yourself because you are going to go to a competition by yourself.
Yeah.
You're not going to have a friend there. I think it's good because maybe you learn, how to pace yourself based on somebody
Yeah.
else. So you learn how to look to somebody, some small things. I think doing 100% of the training by yourself, it might not be
Yeah.
ideal. Having a little bit of, you know, going somewhere, training with some people, it's always good so you don't get, surprised when you compete with 10 other people. And that will be the only thing, but you definitely need to know how to do it by yourself.
Yeah, I would definitely agree on this.
Yeah. Cool. So what is your goal for this year? You're planning to compete somewhere? Or are you just training or?
So this year, like my main focus is still like getting back from my injury, which is going quite well. Like my rehab is over now, and I'm getting back into my training how it used to be. But I also want to do a few competitions if possible. Like I tried French Throwdown, I missed it by 7 spots, but I think it worked for strength and depth. So I think I'm gonna do this competition this year, and I want to try German Throwdown, but like still the main focus this year is to like get better, like get my conditioning
Yeah.
better, get my strength better, so I can pick up in the next years. So this
Hmm.
year is all about, getting better. I mean, every year is about getting better, but like
Yeah,
this is just like to catch up from teens to like individual
yeah,
division.
yeah, definitely. I think I know a guy here from Spain. He went to the games 2 years ago. He did quite well. I think he placed fourth, something like this, on the games. But he's disconnected from competitions. I think he's going to some team competitions with his training partners,
Yeah.
but just mainly for fun. He's not planning to do. I think maybe for guys, the strength difference from teenagers to elite is really big. For what I've seen, I think you're quite strong anyway. So I think that the difference between strength from elite to you, it might not be the biggest jump that you have to do. In his case, he's strong and everything, but the guys are now lifting 165 kilos in a clean and jerk. Like everybody does that, or you are not in elite. So
Yeah.
it's pretty amazing. In girls, you always get some girls that are a little bit less strong, and like numbers seem more or less achievable for you, for example, which I think you probably are already in the not the top 10, but pretty high up on strength compared with any other elite, right?
Yeah, so like I've always been like quite strong at like when it comes to weightlifting and like strength, but
Mm,
I think still there's room for improvement. Like you never
sure.
stop improving, and just like knowing, okay, I'm already okay, like, and then knowing, okay, there's so much more potential. It's just fun to see, and like makes me more hungry to work harder and get better at my strength.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, CrossFit is not only about strength, there's also
Mm,
conditioning and all this. So there's very much room for improvement. And
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I think it changed a little bit from being really focusing on strength, and now maybe it's more muscle endurance and conditioning. But still, you need to have a level of strength because you know they are they are having some watts where they are using 85 kilos for you clean and jerk, so you need to have that, you need to move that barbell easily,
yeah, that's
not just as a PR. So yeah, the level is increasing, like the yeah, it's ridiculous. Like 2014 I think was the first regionals that I went. The team I saw some the one strength what was hanger snatch.
yeah,
The guys from teams, some guys in teams, they were doing 85, 90 kilos. That's ridiculous. Like now it's just like a way that you probably do it, right? Like 85 kilos, 80 kilos on a snatch.
yeah. It's like
And that,
the level is
yeah,
increasing crazy. It's
yeah. But increase because like similar cases than you start when you were 10, you start when you were 14 or something like that. So you are now 18 and you've been doing this for 8 years.
yeah,
Um, so it's almost the same amount of time that I've been doing it.
yeah,
And you are 18 only,
yeah.
so it's pretty amazing. Yeah, and are you planning to do the competitions individuals, or you want to do some teams competition?
Um, so it depends. Like my focus is always to go individual. Like that's just where my goals are. But I could also imagine like doing a team competition one day, or I mean,
Mm,
I've already done one team competition last year in like team of three. I liked it, I enjoyed it, but this is like more just for fun for me.
it's for fun. Yeah,
So like for now, I first want to like focus on going individual. But who knows? Like you never know if you're gonna join a team, like if the people, like if it's the right people, if it feels right, so why not?
yeah. I think probably for now, if you do team, is probably a nice learning curve
Yeah,
that you can easily put a team competition in your training. You will not be even tired on a Sunday. You will probably train on Monday as well because the volume in a team competition is normally pretty low compared with what you do. And I know a few people that train like you, and then they do a competition on weekend, and it's kind of for fun, even if they
yeah.
push themselves. But it's not as challenging as individual competition.
It's a nice way to like gain more experiences,
Mm,
especially I think right now when you're not in the elite division yet, but like not in teens anymore. It's a nice way to like maybe, yeah, gain some more competition experiences, to just join a team and like do those for fun.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a good way exactly to get some experience. So what have you been changing your nutrition or any other lifestyle habit when you decide, okay, I'm going to focus on training, on being a full-time athlete, and for that I need to lose weight, gain weight, whatever it is.
Um, so yeah, I started to change my nutrition last year in August. That's when I started to like get a nutrition coach and like focus on optimizing my nutrition for performance. So like I didn't lose any weight. I didn't have to gain any weight. It was just like optimizing my
Mm,
nutrition. So my body's being able to perform better. And this is one thing that I changed, and now I try to like I don't struggle with sleeping at all, but I try to get as much sleep in as possible.
mhm,
So this is something I had to change, like having a routine: when I go to bed, when do I wake up, and just like focus more on recovery. I think those are three things that I had to change, or that I did change, to like just optimize like my training and my lifestyle.
mhm. Yeah, I think I know a lot of athletes that it's amazing the little details that they have on their diet when they train, but also when they compete. It's typical that you compete and you lose the appetite. You don't
Yeah,
want to eat, right? But you need to eat. But they just go to the event with like an apple,
yeah,
and that basically, and that's the moment that for 1 second or 5 seconds, you might be first or third,
yeah,
right? So it's just those small details that count quite a lot. And I think it's the right way. You're doing that nutrition with Medium, could be.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. That's. I thought that you were with Medium. I think she's really good. She knows a lot of. She's going away from the old school mentality of doing stuff, and she's looking into new things and how to optimize performance. I think she was probably one of the first in CrossFit to focus in carbs
Yeah,
when competing and training, because CrossFit you probably don't remember, but back in the days, 2011, 14, 16, more or less, CrossFit was all about paleo diet,
yeah,
which CrossFit was more about, health. And health, first thing that you want to do when obese people is doing some kind of a sport is removing all the carbs or the bad carbs, maybe not the complex carb, but at that time was any carb. So then kind of stay in the CrossFit community, and then everybody was training without carbs, which at the beginning was fine because we were doing just like one workout, a little bit of a strength, maybe a few accessories, an hour and a half max. That was how everybody was competing. Maybe not Rich Froning and this guy, but like the regular level, regionals level in Europe. That's how it was. And that changed quite a lot to now, where you probably do 2 sessions with one aerobic conditioning session of disgusting aerobic training of 40 minutes, right? And
yeah,
and then the strength. So if you don't recover from the endurance with carbs before and after, you won't be able to do the strength in the right way,
yeah,
right? So those things need to be done now. And I think it's good that people went away from paleo, even that is an okay, healthy diet. But you guys need a different level of nutrition than the guy that is doing 45 minutes on the class. Like now I'm doing just the class, for example,
yeah,
and a little bit more. And I see that people, I'm training with people that are completely new. They started a month ago. Like I'm going to a completely new box right down off the road. And obviously these people don't need carbs.
yeah,
They just need to have like a healthy diet. You don't need to take carbs before or after or whatever. They do, medium intensity because they don't know too much how to do it. But the moment that you start, being able to do this high intensity, and maybe you do 1 watt, 2 watts, and strength, you need to change a lot of things to optimize your diet and your recovery. What kind of sleeping process do you do? I don't know if protocol. I don't know how you will call it. I have a protocol for sleeping.
what
Um,
kind of protocol do you have? Or
So, for example, around 8 o'clock, I'm going to bed quite early.
Yeah.
Also, we just got a kid, so the kid goes to bed at 8. So then we need to. I'm trying to go to bed at the same time, but even before the kid, I was going to bed at 9:30. Anyway, so it's not an excuse. So I'm more or less 1 or 2 hours before. I'm not using my phone. I'm using my phone with the red light,
Yeah.
so I don't get any blue light in my eyes, like 2 to 3 hours before going to bed. Stop drinking caffeine around 8 hours before going to bed, more or less. Um, Trying to train at least 3 to 4 hours before going to bed as well. That's maybe a little bit difficult for many people if you have to, go to work and then train and then. But I'm able to do it. I'm using white noise as well for sleeping, so I have like a constant noise from the moment that I go to bed to the moment that I wake up. So any noises or anything else, I don't get disturbed. I don't drink water, or I try to sip a little bit of water after 6 o'clock, more or less. So I'm thirsty, but I need to drink water. But I'm trying not to drink a lot of water. If you go to bed with a lot of water, it triggers a little bit of an anxiety to your body because you need to go to the bathroom. So I'm trying not to do that. What else? Really cold room. I think that's really healthy for you. Like if you are sweating, you're always moving and hot. It's better to have a cool room. Obviously, no lights in the room. That's a given. Magnesium at night, magnesium and omega-3 at night. I've been doing this, I don't know, for like 10 years. And I stopped. So a few months ago, I stopped training, like heavy training.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm just going to stop doing supplements for a while, just to do something different. And it's funny because I didn't believe it, but I couldn't sleep as good. My recovery was terrible. And I got sick like 25 times.
Oh.
Like, it was just like, okay, this can no, not 25 times, but many
Okay.
times.
Okay.
Yeah, not 25 times will be maybe too much. But and then I went back to take D3. The first thing was D3, and then okay, I didn't get sick. So good that our products work.
Yeah.
And then I started to take again omega-3 and magnesium, and I sleep way better. That's kind of my full protocol, and I always recommend that to anybody.
Yeah.
No matter you guys, I mean, you are 18. When you are 18, 20, 22, like you can sleep in a rock,
Yeah.
right? Like you don't. When you get older, you need a little bit of these tricks to optimize these things. But anyway, you are an athlete, so you might be able to sleep in a rock, but you might not be able to recover it as good. So those small things also will
That's
count.
that's true. So I honestly don't really have like this big of a protocol. It's just like more that I take my supplements at the evening, which is magnesium as well, and like I also I take my creatine like also at like before going to bed, like not straight before going to bed, like 2 hours before or something.
Yeah.
And then I used to do like mobility before going to bed. This helps me to like sleep
Okay.
better. Just like
Yeah, that's great.
just like a moving flow, like moving that body. And I just noticed that I just feel way better when I sleep then. It's just,
Definitely.
yeah.
Do you use any app, or how do you do it? Because
Um,
it's funny. This past week, I was thinking on I need to do that. Like that's the next thing that I need to do.
it depends. Like I used to use the app, but now my coach writes my mobility program. Or sometimes I also just look something up on YouTube because you have those nice yoga flows or something.
Yeah.
So it depends on if I have something in my plan, if I want to use the app, or if I want to do a YouTube video. So I think, yeah, just moving that body, like it's not like necessarily to do something crazy or so.
Yeah.
It just look something up. But
Yeah.
this is just something I noticed which helps me a lot with sleeping better. And I also used to keep my room very cold. I really like this one. And obviously also very dark. And then sometimes when I feel like it, I do either read something before going to bed or when waking up. And also this is something I try to change is not using my phone also 2 hours before going to bed. But this is something that sometimes still a bit hard.
It's difficult.
It's
Yeah, it's really difficult.
it is, but yeah, that's something I'm trying to like get into my routine. But
Yeah.
that's it. It's not, as I said, it's not that special of a routine, but this works quite well for me. So
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. The phone is a big one. I think especially social media. I think it's fine, like if you text with your family or friends or whatever. But I think social media, it triggers some kind of, I wouldn't say anxiety, but some kind of, I want to keep scrolling
yeah,
because I want to see the next one. So then you are like, you are active, you are giving an impulse to your brain to think, I want something else.
yeah,
I don't want to rest. I want to see the next thing. And I think that's going to be the big one in the next years, even that is now, but in the next year, how people, social media detox, and even bigger things that will happen because you guys grew up with social media, right? Yeah, like right away, all your friends, when you could have a phone, probably your friends already had a social media account,
yeah,
so you wanted to check on them, and I think it's difficult for even people like us with our age that have different kind of mentality than you guys. But I think it's going to be a big one. Yeah, and the mobility is also great. I'm really like I don't really enjoy doing mobility and flexibility. I'm okay. Like I'm even for being training for many years, my mobility has been always good. I don't really know why. So I don't suffer like some people can't even like put their hand
yeah,
above the head or whatever. So I can do that, but I find it really boring, and I need to have like I need to follow something. I need to okay. They are telling me to do this, and I'm going to look at that and then stay. But obviously, you have a different mentality and you are good at training by yourself, so obviously you can do yoga by yourself,
yeah.
and just looking at okay, I need to do 25 seconds of this, three times of this, and you could do it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. What else you think? Like I'm always amazed by young people like you that have the mentality and the strength, the psychological strength to say I'm just going to dedicate everything to CrossFit. CrossFit is not as easy as playing football, where they train 2 hours. And I know a lot of people that they were football players, like in the first and second division. They were going out Fridays and Saturdays every single week, and they were playing the next day, or they came for playing, or they needed to train. That's something that in CrossFit will never happen. I can't imagine, going out drinking, not just going out, but not sleeping, drinking, and what else, and then having to train or compete. That's something that in CrossFit will never happen. And if you are in an age that you know, all your friends probably are doing that, right? Like they are all going out, and
So this has always been, especially when I was still in school, this was very hard. Like I knew that I don't want to go out, and because I know like this is nothing that's going to bring me forward to my goal. But it was always so hard because like your friends, they didn't really understand because they were like, "Oh, come on, you can do it. Like just go to training the next day." But I'm like, "No, you don't get it. Like I have to like get enough sleep. I am like if I don't get enough sleep, my body's not going to work as well." And like my friends used to do sports as well, but as you said, like in football or in handball or whatever, you could go out and drink and stuff, but in CrossFit it's not working like this. Like so it was always very hard, but I was always fine with making those, I would call it sacrifices, because I knew that one day it's all gonna pay off, and I just enjoy the process of putting in the work and having those sacrifices. So it was hard, but I never really struggled with it because now I have people around me that understand it and that like push me like or helping me to reach my goal. And I think this is just something so important, to surround yourself with people that get it, like that they understand that you're not always going to be able to go out, or that you're not always going to be hanging out with them because you don't really have the time for it. And I think this is just something so important, to just be surrounded by people that get it and that help you with like reaching your goal, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I don't even think you're doing a sacrifice really, because you enjoy this. You
Yeah,
probably wouldn't enjoy to go out, right? So I think that's the key. If you see that as a sacrifice, then at some point you will quit and you will do that because you want to do that, right? But you enjoy doing CrossFit, you enjoy the process and the end goal that you want. So it's not that much as a sacrifice. For other people, will think, "Oh, this girl is just like sacrificing their life or whatever."
yeah,
But you enjoy it. I think that's like number one priority, to have like a really clear goal, enjoying the process.
yeah,
Like if you are just like always in pain or always looking at your friends on social media going out and you were like, oh, I wish I were there, you will go there at some point.
yeah.
Um, so,
That's what I
so yeah.
always thought, because a lot of people were always like, "Oh, you're so young, just enjoy yourself now." And I was like, "No, I don't have the time to enjoy myself now. I want to put in the work, and one day I can enjoy myself. But for now,
Well, I think you are enjoying yourself now.
yeah, that's
You are enjoying
I
what
I,
you're
I
doing.
like I love what I'm doing, so I'm enjoying myself. But it's just a different enjoying myself than people enjoy their self. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
it's yeah, I always say I wouldn't want to change anything about my life, so I guess I'm doing it right, so yeah.
hmm Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the right attitude, and I wish that a lot of people like you know, we have more people like you, especially in Spain. I don't know if you know a little bit of the culture in Spain, but um, people here, they love to go out. Like if you go on a Tuesday at 1 o'clock to any of these bars, or any day during the week at 10 o'clock at night, is full of kids. Everywhere, and not only kids, but also like 30, 40 years old people that they just finish school or their job or whatever. Their passion is going to a bar and drinking,
Yeah.
and that's a huge thing here in Spain. I don't think it's as big in Germany or in the central north of Europe. Like I lived in Denmark for 5 years, and I've never seen as many bars, and the bars being as full as I can see here every single day of the week. And I'm always thinking like it is a shame. Like when you look back at what you've achieved or done, you just work and went to the bar. You could have done. I'm not saying to do sports, but you could have just learned to play piano.
Yeah.
It gives you way more things than just drinking or going out.
Yeah.
So I'm always really happy when people like you were 10, it's amazing, 10 years old, and you were already doing CrossFit. Um, I'm, 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 I'm amazed by that. So you were training with your parents. You were just going to the class and you were doing what your parents were doing.
Yeah, so like only my dad does CrossFit, and I have an older brother, he does CrossFit for fun.
Okay.
So I used to go with my dad, and then they didn't have a kids class in that gym, and then I just did the class with my dad. And one day because there were so many kids that wanted to do it then, so they decided to do a kids class. But
Okay.
then I got better quite fast, and then I was allowed to like join the adult class again.
Okay. That's pretty
So
cool.
and then I went to training with my dad. So yeah, that
Okay.
was
How long did it take you to join the adult class?
I don't really remember, but it was quite fast. So just
Yeah.
I was in a kids class to like learn all like the basic movements, like squats,
hmm
push-ups, all this, and then we got into like barbell cycling, and then like my barbell cycling was quite good, so that's when I was allowed to join the
Yeah. I guess because you had really good mobility,
yeah,
because of you were doing dancing, not dancing. How you call that?
ballet.
Ballet. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So you were really flexible, I guess.
Yeah, probably because
Yeah.
of that.
Which is also a little bit, counterproductive in some ways, because then you might be too
Yeah,
flexible, and then you have some how call, like, lax joints. I don't know the exactly
I know what you mean.
English,
I,
right? Like the knees goes way too far, and then you need to control to not go that
yeah.
that far. Yeah. Yeah. That's how many times you were told that you shouldn't lift heavy weights when you were like 13 or something.
Oh, too many.
Too many, right? And your parents.
especially like CrossFit in Germany when I started wasn't that known. It still
Mm,
isn't that known. Like people don't really like when people ask you what are you doing and I say CrossFit, they're like, what's that? Like they don't even know what it
mm,
is. And then
really?
try to explain it to them and then they just scan you and like look at your body and they're like confused a bit and then they're like,
Yeah.
are you allowed to lift that much weight? Is it
Mm,
healthy and stuff like that? Like you get those questions all the time.
yeah.
But like
You're not gonna grow. Watch out, you're gonna
yeah,
get short.
that's what I had to hear so many times. Like
Yeah.
you're not gonna grow. And now like I'm quite tall.
Yeah.
I'm quite tall. So look, I grew. So
Yeah.
but I like
Yeah.
when I was younger, this question was kind of making like annoyed me quite a lot because like
Hmm.
really everyone
I can imagine.
this and like my school friends also like, oh, this is so unhealthy, like why do you
Hmm.
do it at such a young age? But now I'm looking back and I'm like, I shouldn't have cared what they say.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, but it's difficult. Like I get these kind of things constantly, and I heard these kind of things way too many times. And at the beginning, I was trying to defend or explain or whatever. Now I'm like, I'm not going to convince you. I know that you don't have the knowledge or even the time to research
Yeah,
about things, because if you start researching things online or just ask ChatGPT, which will tell you anything now,
yeah,
then you will know, okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are new science that prove that doing these kind of things is good for anybody.
yeah,
So yeah, it's funny because last week I was trained. One of the parents in my class brought his kid. I think he was maybe 11 or 12. He was a really young kid, um, and you could see the kid was boring, but he was looking at what we were doing. So I did that what I had to scale it up because they made it for the class and it was a bit too easy, just the calories. So I did something else.
yeah,
So then I told the kid, I just didn't want to train by myself, to be honest. I told him, do you want to do it with me? It was just like calories, max calories, and then, no, sorry, 20 calories per minute, and then max box jump overs, something like that for 20 minutes.
yeah,
Really boring workout. So I told him, and he was like, yes, 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 can I do it? Can I do it? Yes, yes. And then he just joined what I was doing more or less. And, you could see the guy was super, he wasn't even tired, to be honest. Like, I was like, dude, you're not getting tired, do more. Like, you could, do more, not. And it was really cool that I think the kid is waiting for me this week because he told me, oh, I want to do it again this
uh
week.
that's cool.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. He's the only kid in the box, so I don't think they will do a kids class, but
But maybe he can join the class, just a regular class.
yeah, I mean, some of the people there, like as I told you, my box is completely new. It's just people like really old people. Probably I'm the older there, but 35 or something. I'm 42, but they are like 35. But you can see it's people that they've never trained.
Yeah,
And when you see them, they probably did like running and these kind of things. But when they do like basic movements like grabbing a bar from the ground, it's amazing how little conscious of their body have,
yeah,
and they lift the bar in any way. Or when the front rack, which is something kind of normal, grabbing something and hold it here. I hold my kid here,
yeah,
right, and I don't hold it here. I need to have like a normal position, and I'm lifting him. It's like a normal movement.
yeah.
You see them struggling doing those basic movements. No weight, like absolutely no weight. So the kid, I'm pretty sure the kid in a month will be better than any of those old people. They're doing
Also
it.
because like kids learn quite fast. Like they do
Mhm.
learn faster and like I used to do the kids class at our gym. Like it was very I think what was the youngest? It was 4 or something. And you see like
4 years.
explain something and then they don't really get it and then you explain it again and then they exactly know what to do. So they learn like very fast, which is
Yeah,
I think to see. So
yeah.
yeah.
I think it's great to teach kids or like almost babies. I would say like 4 years old
Yeah.
to do new things. I think it has a lot of neuromuscular benefits.
Yeah.
So you learn how your body works, and then it's just benefits. There is no a trade off other than time. But I think what better use of the time that learning how to move
Yeah.
and move properly and be flexible and being a strong, which strength is lack of strength is the number one cause of mortality worldwide.